Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. So, here you get to see my terrible art secret, and that's... I am terrible at seeing the structure of things. I have been for a very long time, and it's very evident in her face here. The entire head just looks very, very strange. And Furthermore, you can also kind of see why a lot of the time my poses start getting stiff when I start worrying about proportions again. Because it happened again. Because I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take this line here and I'm gonna put it straight down. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller here, but I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna go straight down. And you can see that the majority of her, kind of the direction that her body goes, follows this line. It's very straight. Because of what I had to do in order to make certain parts of structure happen. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make everything a little bit less stiff. That's gonna probably throw off my proportions a bit, but you know what? It'll be worth it. It's fine. Not sure if I'm gonna do it like this. Oh, wait, I still have some layers locked. Can't do that when I'm trying to adjust everything. And actually, I don't even think doing it like that is a good idea, so I will do it a slightly different way. But basically, I'm just not entirely happy with certain things. Yeah, I'll do it from here. Kinda want this to go this way a bit more. That will be erased, but and I think I want her upper half. Just the entire upper half. To go a little bit more this way. Let's get rid of that terrible, terrible vertical line that her body is following. Okay, I'm gonna put her head where I want it, then I'll worry about attaching the lower body after that. I think this is a pretty good spot for her head. And honestly, revisiting all of this after not looking at it for a day is making certain parts a little bit more clear to me on just why I dislike certain things. But I gotta fix this pose stiffness first. It is by far the most important problem here. Nothing is gonna look good until I fix that. And then after that, we'll worry about making that face just not look kind of bad. Okay, yeah, I think that looks good. Especially since I'm going for kind of a circular energy here. Now let me size her on the canvas a little bit better. I'll probably need to rein her arm in a little bit, but this is fine for now. I'll go ahead and just hide it for a second while I figure out the shape I want her clothes to be. They're floofing a bit hard there, though. Okay, there are certain parts of the shape that I'm not a fan of. But there are certain parts that I really am a fan of. So I'm gonna try to keep the parts that I really enjoy. I will shade insofar as it helps me find shapes. But I like the circularness here, since I'm putting her inside of a bubble, right? So it's a circle. And I think making circular compositions like this really, really exaggeratedly circular is fun. It's a good time, and it makes me happy. So I kind of want to pull that energy back in. So I'm just going to focus on that shape for just a moment here. And I do still want to see part of the underside of her skirt here, so this tells me that her body is a little bit too low in the screen. And I think I can actually fix that by grabbing her lower half again and just raising it a bit higher. I think I can get away with that. And I'm gonna need to just, like, completely redraw that ribbon, but, you know, that's okay, too. I think I'll need to redraw this one as well, but that is also okay. The downside to just the raw chaos that I go for in my process means that while I'm in the process of discovering everything, I do end up having to redraw many a thing. And I do think it slows down my process. I have been trying to find a way to kind of control the chaos a little bit more than I currently do. Mixed success. It's better than it used to be. It really is. This is significantly better than what I used to deal with. When I was getting started, I drew on one layer and I drew in black and white. So that, because basically the way I see things is I see light and silhouettes. And that's why I have trouble seeing things when I try to use lines to draw. Because there are times, I mean, I've seen people use light to draw with lines. It does make sense. But when I try to do the same thing, it just feels wrong. And part of it might just be that I'm not used to it and I just gotta do things, but I've kind of found a method that works there. So now I gotta figure out how to control it. I do not always feel super in control. And I do think that will be the biggest area for growth, of just figuring out how to control my process. Okay, I think I'm gonna tilt her upper half just a bit more. No, I need to have her arm in here. No, I don't. We lock it. So I only want to adjust here. I will reattach her arm in a little bit. How hard do I want to do that? I'm gonna think about it real quick. So I want to go for like check the extremes, because that generally gives me an idea of what I like. Whereas, you know, like this is obviously too strong in my opinion. But it's like, do I like her going that way? The main thing is that I felt like when she was in the pose here again, I was getting some straightness. And I didn't like that. And part of that might also be the head. So I'll put her there for now, and gonna kill her head. Actually, let me get my selection back and then move her head a little bit. Because what I plan on doing here is I'm going to kind of get the body the way I want. And from there, I will go in and try to draw the head from the neck. And pay attention to the volumes that I can actually see and make sense of. Like I said, my process is a bit weird compared to what I normally see people do. And a lot of that just comes down to, for whatever reason, when I try to map out volumes and structure using lines, I just cannot see it. It don't work. I'm sure with enough practice I could probably get there, but I feel like that I have made really good strides in my skills using this method. So I've been wanting to continue to develop this method that is really working for me. I really like all the chaotic energy at the beginning, where I put things down and things go here and it's fine, and I can just figure out the best way to bring my idea onto the canvas. And I absolutely love that, and I just feel like what most people think of as sketching would absolutely destroy some of that for me. And then I like building up on top of things, and basically I like my process. It works very, very well for me, personally. I just don't like that I have a really, really hard time introducing actual structure into my pictures, so I kind of have to feel it out and flail a bunch. And that part is the part that I think slows me down the most. That is the part that I am still kind of trying to figure out what I am supposed to do about that, because I don't know. I don't. But I hope you will join me on this journey of self-discovery as I try to find ways to do it. Because I am trying. I am trying very, very hard. So right now I'm just getting the shape of this ribbon, but what I'm actually doing in my head is I'm like, okay, how do her hips connect to her top here? I think her hips are actually more here somewhere, but just because this goes under her bust, not on her waist. And I think everything there looks pretty okay. I want to tilt her neck back a little bit more. We're gonna get some real spinning energy in here. And you see, I like being able to do this, so just, okay, I kind of want it to be like this now. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. So, yes, this is why I say I may not actually know how to draw faces. Or rather, it takes me a little bit in order to get it right. Okay, I'm gonna go back to just the head here. And I'm even gonna go as far as to take away her face. We are just a head. And what I want to do is I want to take this head and I want to attach it to her neck. I'm gonna keep what I drew still, already. I don't think I have to completely start over. But I will lower the opacity so this way I can see her neck. And I'm gonna zoom in a bit, and I'm gonna figure it out. That's probably the most flattering way I can put it. I'm gonna figure it out. Okay. So, this is where her neck would connect to her chin. So that means that we have, like, a chin coming out here. Kind of coming up here, I think. So if I flatten this, I think I'll have better luck. And the shape of the neck isn't quite right. So it's not one-to-one where I think it should be. But it's pretty close. It's close enough that I think I can get started. Okay. I do think I want to shape it a little bit more nicely, though. Let's really get it coming out of her body there. The rest of the body doesn't matter, and I'm just going to erase it. And in fact, you know what? Let's make my life easy. The neck is literally the only thing relevant on the body now, so I'm just gonna clear that. What I did there is you made a selection around this, selected the inverse, and then deleted everything. So now this neck part is the only thing on her body. I'm gonna hide the head for just a sec while I really focus on attaching her neck to her shoulders. I'm gonna focus hard. So this part is gonna be stretched out a bit. So it'll be kinda long, and this side is gonna get pinched. She's kinda tilting her head back. So this side will be pinched. And at the very least, while I flail here, I hope that my notes to self are at least useful. And how I kind of go about trying to figure out what I'm actually doing here. And so, since we're looking at her from slightly above, I want to see, like, if her head wasn't sitting there and she was actually headless like this, we'd see the top of her neck stump, but not like a lot of it, because we're only slightly above. Hello there, Yetchi Kitty. We are only slightly above her, so I want to keep it not too round. There we go. Gonna flatten it out down on this side too. I see. Well, it's probably a good thing. Houses need cleaning every so often. I want to stretch this side out a little bit more, get that movement nice and smooth. It's just hard because I am making the top kind of expand or get a little bit thicker up there just because I think it makes it easier to connect to the chin. I'm not actually sure if that's true, but it's what I'm doing, I guess. Okay, and then the other shoulder is going to be like somewhere in there. All this is going to be covered, so I'm not worried about getting it accurate to the final picture. I'm just drawing it in a way that will make sense to me. This way I can really, really feel the pinch in her neck here. There we go. Okay, let's turn the head back on. And anytime I move the head, I will still move all the layers together. Okay. Getting the right colors. Alright, so now in theory, like, we should have a chin coming out of the neck here. And I'm trying to picture the direction that this will go in my head. But like I said, structure is hard. Oh, well, that's a reason, I suppose. I mean, help her if you want, don't if you don't want, but, you know, making excuses like that's a bad look. It's okay if you want to do something else. This is what I always tell to my kids, is that you don't have to clean if you don't want to. It's fine. I'm not gonna... I don't generally make them. But, because, you know, they're very little. But there is no need to make excuses. Do it or don't. Okay. Now, I will say, when it comes to structural stuff, finding the center lines and representing those as lines actually does help me. So that's why I continue to at least do that part. Okay. And I'm gonna move where I'm putting the eye sockets to where I think that they will be a little bit more accurate. Here I'm actually, since I'm trying to focus on structure, I actually am mildly concerned with the accuracy. So I will kind of try to get general eyeball shapes here. Have them all kind of in the right place. There will in theory be a nose there at some point. And a mouth here. Okay, so try to get those parts correct relative to each other. This ear, I think I want to make a little bit smaller, but otherwise it is in the right spot. And then from there, what I think I need to do is just grab the whole thing and push it all down. Oh, and I accidentally left a bit of a hole there. Okay. A little bit closer than I was before, I think. And then once I'm satisfied with this little mannequin of a head that I'm making here, I will go back in and re-add her features, and hopefully they'll all be in the right spot, and everything will work out. Okay. And even though I can't see the bottom of her chin because we're looking slightly above her, I'm still getting more of an impression that she is looking upward here, so that's a good sign. I think I need her ear just a touch higher, though. I think I have it just a little bit too low. Yeah, this gives me a little bit more room for the jaw to connect. How should jaws connect? How should I connect this? Does it go out more like this? I'm looking at where it connects to the neck. Let's tilt her head back just a little bit more here. Okay, this seems promising to me. Okay. I want to shade the side of her head a little bit more just so I can kind of understand it. In that case, do I have this ear too far out? I don't know, but let me kind of get the back of her head going in here. We're not going to see a lot on the top, as she's tilting her head back like that, but I do think it is correct for it to kind of come out like this. Gotta find the right angle, but this is looking very head-like, so... See, this is where it's obvious to me that I kind of understand things, but sometimes it takes me a second to figure out what to do. Still not sure if this is... if her neck is connecting correctly, because, like, when I look at necks, it kind of connects around the ear. Let's see, I found a couple of references the other day. Yeah, I guess in anime, necks are just a little bit thinner, and that might be one of the reasons that it's a little bit strange to me. Ears are also quite a bit smaller, so this is probably a bit large for her ear, but I will cross that bridge when I get there. Right now, it is mostly there just to help me make sense of things, and I find it likely that I'm just gonna cover it up with hair to begin with. So I'm not really worried about it being accurate. I just want it to be in roughly the right place, so that hopefully I understand what I'm doing. All of this is just so I can try to understand what I'm doing. Alright, let's put in some lighter spots here. Try to get this shadow shape right. Okay. Okay. I think I'm starting to see it. Maybe. We'll see what happens when I start putting her features back on. Alright, now I'm gonna try to get the shape of her cheek here looking good, because I don't think that this is right, even if I want to give her a nice squishy face. Right now I think it's a little bit exaggerated, and I'm not sure if this cheek is high enough. Probably be going back and forth here a little bit. It's fine. Once again, I think I just want to lower the whole thing. Felt like her chin was just a touch large. I think the center line moved a little bit while I was doing all that. I think it's more like this now. So I will adjust my feature guidelines in accordance with that. Ah, shoot. I accidentally hit control on my control Z a little bit too long, and it switched to my color picker. Alright, gonna make sure the eyes are all in the right spot now, with everything that I have changed slightly. And now I'm gonna start sculpting this edge. Oh yes, that seems a bit more proportionate. Her forehead is maybe just a little too short. There we go. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Much more face-like than what I had before. Okay, let's bring the opacity to 100% because I think I understand how it's connecting to the neck well enough now. Neck looks a little bit thick. Actually, I think the head might just be a little bit small. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. I think the neck is a little bit thick, though. Let's connect the neck a little bit better. Just... Let me see, how should this work? I don't know, actually. I don't know, does that work? I guess that's fine. This part can kind of be removed. And that should make the neck look a little bit thinner too. Yeah. Should be fine. Okay, I think that's fine. Alright, now let's shape this jawline. You've heard me talking about art for, like, in any context. You'll know that I always struggle with the jawline. I just never seem to be able to get it in the right place. Because structure is hard. And I've said it numerous times that if you find art hard, you're not doing anything wrong. Art is just hard. It's very hard. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, I think that's right. So, here, there's like a little spot on your eye, around the eye socket, that'll go in a little bit, it'll protrude out a little bit around the brow bone, then it'll go in around the eye socket, and it'll come back out again around the cheek. And that is the area I'm kind of trying to figure out now. And I want her to have a very round face. But I just worry that this is a little bit too puffy. Okay, I'm not quite sure if this is 100% right, but I think it'll be easier to figure out if I actually give her eyes again. You know, in theory. I actually thought I had her eyes drawn pretty well, and I think I do. I think they look alright. I think they look alright. Okay, hold on. Before I fix this, let me see. How did her eyes look? Okay, yeah, this one is a bit too high. Good. I was like, I had my eye socket guidelines, and I was like, I tried to put them down using that. But there was no way that having this eye up here was correct. So yes, I just drew it a little bit high. That is fine. As you can see, her eyebrows aren't lining up quite yet, right yet, and there's a few things. But that's okay. Actually, you know what? The eyebrows are distracting me, so I'm just gonna go turn them off. No eyebrows for a little bit. We don't need them. Not yet. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the head layer. And I'm gonna go and kinda scribble out the eye sockets here. Give myself a couple of new guidelines. Yeah, I'll base it on where the eyes currently are, and I will see if that looks right when I turn them off. So how would I draw it with them off? More like this, I think. Okay, so I'm going to use this to help me place the eyes. Let it really wrap around her face. Yeah, I'm just trying to get this shape there. So when most people think of drawing, or sketching, this tends to be what people think of, and for the most part, I don't do it. But there are times where I find it useful, typically for finding the center of things. And in this case, I'm able to use it here, which makes me happy because, man, when I can actually understand it, it does tend to make my life a little bit easier. Okay. Let's get those eyes placed. Okay, I think something like that should work. I don't think her eyeballs are in good spots anymore, so let's go ahead and give her good ones. I want her to be looking kind of at the viewer. They're gonna be big and cute. So just looking up just a little. Yeah, that should look pretty cute once I actually give her expression back. So let's do that now. Let's do that now. I'll put the nose about where I think it belongs, and then I will worry about the mouth. I think it probably goes more about here. Okay. And if I get rid of my guides here... How are we looking? Yeah, I think that looks pretty cute. It seems about right. The eyes aren't perfectly symmetrical yet. I need to fix them up a bit. But I think this is a start. Does her head look attached to her body now? I think it does. Alright, let's turn her hair back on. Actually, no, first we have to do eyebrows. I think the shape of her eyebrows are fine. Once it's clean, this will be fine. Let's just lower this one down to where it belongs. And I want this one just a touch higher. Looks fine to me. Alright, now we can put the hair back on. I don't think like her front hair is completely wrong, so I'm gonna keep some of that. I want it to be a little bit more asymmetrical. So I want this big one to kind of come down more like where I put it, as opposed to right in the middle. Go ahead and pull this one over. And liquefy this part into place. Okay, now I'm gonna reduce the opacity and the whole thing and start cleaning up this shape here. There we go. Now it looks like more like it's on her head. And this part I'm just doing because I kind of want to cover up her jaw there. Well, I think it's correct. I don't know. I can just never make it look good, so... Someday I will study that properly. That day is not today. This is not what I want to work on for this piece. I generally pick one or two things that I want to work on for everything that I draw. And this one is specifically... going to be a stylistic thing that I'm working on. Just because, you know, if I tried to work on every little thing that I think that I am not as good at as I want to be, I would never finish pictures. Never. It would never happen. So I just pick a couple, and everything else, it's fine. Someday I will work on those other things. And if I had to pick a secondary thing that I wanted to work a little bit harder on, it would actually be the flow of the hair. I think that is a little bit more important than making sure I have the world's most perfect jawline. Alright, let's get her hat on. Fortunately, I do think I have that drawn decently well here. I think her eyes might still be a little bit too big, honestly. Okay, let's take a look at the eyes here. I think they're sitting on the plane of her face a little bit better now, but I am not sure if they are the right size yet. And I do need to be able to see her jawline in order to place them. Krita teleporting me down to the circle again. Still not sure how that keeps happening. It's a bit of an annoying bug, honestly. Just a little bit more space between them. Yeah, I think it's starting to look pretty cute again. But you can see that even with all that, I still don't think I have it quite right. That's because while finding the center line can be helpful, I cannot actually picture all the volumes correctly with lines. I have to see the shapes, I have to see the light. And that is why the liquefy tool is my best friend. And I do think it connects to the neck around here. I do think that is right. That looks right to me, at least. We'll let her be bald a little longer. She can keep her hats. This way the Touhou does not die. But I think I need to keep her hair off a little bit longer here. Oh no, I don't want to mess with the hat. I just want to touch the head. There we go. There we go. But yes, this is what I have to do every time I want to draw a head. This is why if you look at my speed paints, I often draw people from the back, so this way I don't have to draw their face. Or I just draw silhouettes and stuff where you don't see the face, because having to draw a face drastically increases the amount of time that I spend on something, and that is why I would like to figure out how to introduce more structure into my life here. That is why this is something I really need to figure out. I'm doing my best, but man, do I still struggle with it a lot. Alright, I think everybody just has random things that they find hard. And for me, it's pretty much always been, I'll call it structure, because it includes things like proportion and perspective, mostly. That's why I like heavily exaggerated perspective. Because that's the point where I can do, like, anything I want and it'll look perfect. And I also draw a lot of silhouettes, and, well, that I think is also because what I see best is light. And so, personally, I think lighting is one of my strongest points in my pictures. I think my lighting always looks fantastic. I'm very, very proud of it. I just gotta figure everything else out, and then I think my art will get much better than it is now. I'll get there. Just gotta keep trying. For now, I fill the gap with reference and flailing. Much flipping the canvas horizontally. At least for my more serious ones. It's okay, I think she's starting to look pretty cute. Ah, I'm happy. Okay. Yeah, I think that should be good. And that'll give her some hair. I want it to be a little bit less in her face, I think. I'll carve that out with my liquefy tool. Because the liquefy tool is fantastic and I love it. I would have a much harder time drawing without it. I just wanted a little bit less in her face. And I want to go hard on turning this. And that'll be a little bit harder with the liquefy tool than just doing it like that. Even though it breaks things and the liquefy tool wouldn't. This is what I would like to do, and I think it would be easier like this. Just do it, then fill in the gaps after. And make it a little bit less harsh. Okay, there we go. And now I can draw the rest of the strands I was picturing in my head. I don't really want it to cover her mouth. There we go. I think that's cute. I'll probably end up making it a little bit more wavy when I go to finalize the shape of the hair. This side is a little bit too long. Like I said, I kind of want to cover up that part of the jaw because I can't draw it. That is the reason. Let's not kid ourselves here. It's important to be honest with yourself because that's how you progress. But I will stare that in the face and say, yes, I cannot draw this thing very well yet. I will work on it. I have, in fact, been practicing off-stream. Hasn't worked out yet, but I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Okay, and once I put the other colors on there, that should look pretty cute. Now then, I kind of want to finalize the color of the eyelashes. My style has my eyelashes a little bit lighter than usual, but with all the pastels here, I kind of would like it a little bit darker. Okay, I think that's a pretty good color. Don't know what I want to do for the background color yet. I'm not feeling this one, but I'm still not quite sure what to do. I'll figure it out later. Okay, I think that this is good for the time being. Let's go ahead and turn our hand back on. You are not locked. Why can I not move you? Why will you not move? I do not have the layer locked. Oh, it's because I have the entire thing locked. That's right. I forgot I locked you all the way up there. Okay, we're gonna turn off her head for a second. And reattach her collar to where I moved her shoulders and stuff. Don't think I really need to change very much about it. I just need to just push it back into place. Because the shapes are fine. They're just not in the right place anymore. Okay, there we go. I think that is basically what I want. I'll give it a backside at some point. But I don't think it's particularly relevant right now. Okay. No, I do not want to move the circle. I want to move the front arm like I clicked on. There we go. I actually think it should be more like right there, so I should move the ribbon on her elbow here, just a little bit over. I just want it to be like barely visible. And then I think I would also like to take these layers and open it up a little bit more. Let it come a little bit more towards us. Yeah, I think that'll look pretty good. Let's give her her head back. I'll worry about these random clipping issues a bit later. I'm still not entirely sure what I want to do with that. So the head's still too small. I feel like it's lining up with her shoulders, so maybe she's just a little bit too thick in that part of her body. Although now her head actually looks a bit large. So yeah, she was just too thick in that part of her body. Alright, so I think the next thing that I want to do, because this is what's really going to finish off the pose, is I want to draw her the proper hand. And she's going to be holding a fan. So I kind of want to figure out how the fan is going to go. I'm going to need to think about that for a second. Let me take a look at what her fan actually looks like. There's lots of patterns and stuff on it that I am so not going to draw right now. That will come once I actually start rendering. But I can at least kind of get the gist of it here. Let me see, does she have any... The one that I'm referencing is from Immaterial and Missing Power, so I want to go see if she has some pictures of that. Okay. No, I think I can picture it. Okay. I'm gonna take this color, but I'm gonna delete what I have so far. Now I'm gonna picture it in motion. Doing many a hard thing. I think I still want her to be a little bit larger in the bubble before I do this. There we go. I want her to take up like 90% of it. There should not be very much space left over for anything. Oh, I have the color frozen. Okay, in that case I need to undo that transform. I need to unlock the collar. The collar needs to move with the rest of her now. I don't really mind if this hand goes off screen. So I guess that's fine. Okay, so... Bad. How should this fan look? So, the way I'm picturing it in my head is that she's kinda... spinning, like, this direction. Going around like this. Where it kinda comes back here and then, yeah. So that's how she's spinning. So how would you hold a fan if you're spinning that way? Probably, if I were to represent it as a triangle with the center in her hand, we'd have the arc kinda doing something like this. And going into the back here. This is tiny, but look, I gotta start somewhere. And then, let me find a color that I can use here. There's like this neat hot pink. Let's get that one. Actually, I guess it's more of a dark purple, but similar idea. So if I picture it kind of like that, let me just, and the lines will gradually get farther apart. Yeah. I think I know what I'm talking about. So just trying to figure out the light on the fan here. I'm using this purple color as my highlight. Okay, I can kind of see it now. I want the whole thing to be on screen, but I want it to be quite large since it's coming so far forward. And the hand needs to be on top. I will take my skin tone color and delete the rest. And her hand... How do you hold a fan? Kinda... I can see it. I'm kinda doing the pose with my hand out here in real life. Let's see, it's So now she was spinning. What direction? I think it's the thumb on top here and the rest of the hand back there. Okay, in that case, I will keep my hand. I will keep it back here. Kind of put it so the fingers are going to be over here. There was a lot wrong, don't worry about it. And then I will make a new layer for the thumb. And actually, on this hand, I want to make it the dark color. There we go. And I will make a new layer for her thumb. And we'll let the thumb come on top. I don't know, does that make sense? I think it makes sense. And then I will make a new layer for the arm, which I will use the color on her neck, and we'll just draw something coming back here, like this. So the hand should actually be on top here, and in fact... Okay, so if that's where I want the fan to be, I will adjust her sleeve around it. So her arm should be up here. I think that's okay. Where'd my cursor go? There it is. Okay. For some reason, it got stuck. And I will just draw the hand like this. And move the back of the sleeve down here. Okay, the shape of the sleeve is not correct, but I think this has the correct energy. I think it does. I'm gonna rename you to sleeve. There we go. I think this has the correct energy. It's still a little stiff. I'll get it there. But I think that this is kind of what I want. I think that this will look quite good once everything is correct. Yeah, I like it. Not quite sure if the fan is big enough yet. That will be something to take a look at. Let's see if I can make it a little bit larger. Let's see if I can make it a little bit larger here. And I think I can probably make it a bit bigger and then kind of exaggerate how far back it's going. So I can kind of do a shape like this, make it a little bit rounder. It's not realistic, but who cares? This is anime. I can make it as anime as I want. Yeah, and I think that'll let me put details on top of this very nicely. Yeah, and I think that kind of gives it some nice movement too. I don't like her head being that far over, though. Let me bring her back this way. Okay, there we go. Alright, I think I dig it. I don't really want to do too much more work on posing or proportions or anything like that until I sleep on this. Unfortunately, a lot of my process has me sleeping on things and making sure that I still like it. It's also one of the many reasons I bounce around a lot. Gonna make her dress a little bit rounder here. Just because I do need to look at things with fresh eyes before I can decide if I really like it. Okay, but no, there's still some stuff I can do before then. Now that I know the location of the arm, I can kind of adjust the sleeve around it. Let's hide the fan. Don't worry about the hand right now, it's fine. So what I want for the sleeve is that I want it to get caught on her hand here. And then it's gonna wiggle. It's gonna do so much wiggling. It's gonna wave in the wind, but first it has to be very sharp up against the hand in order to make it look good. That is what I determined from looking at reference images of people spinning around in puffy sleeves. I did actually check. And the idea is very much that you want it to be tight around the part that it's going to be bumping up against. So that will be your arm. And then from there, you make it flap. Make it so very floppy. Let me see, it should actually be going the other direction. So I kind of want it to go like this and have it kind of flip over here. We'll get it nice and puffy. Nice and poofy. But I do need to enforce the point where it hits the hand. That I cannot compromise on. I think this kind of shape should work. And then I can attach the sleeve to it. Fairly straight up here since it's getting caught up against the arm. Don't mind the arm clipping. That's fine. I will get rid of that. And then I just worry about attaching it all underneath here. Like so. Okay, and then this part, the inside. This I will probably use a darker color once it comes time. And you know, I think that's actually another thing that I can do right now before I make any major decisions. Is I can start picking some colors because I want to make things more colorful. That is one thing that I'm a little bit, that was lost in the pose that I'm a little bit sad about, is that this arm is now very horizontal when I want it to go more upwards, so let's tilt her a little bit back this way. Hello there, Knight. Nice to meet you. Let's see, or do I want it to go down? Is it fine if it goes down? Right now, I'm just trying to figure out the last bits of this pose. I am drawing a picture. And I am trying to figure out what I want to do with the last part of this pose. I'm debating, do I want her to have her arm go more upward or more downward? So there's a choice to be made there. Before I had it kind of going straight across here for reasons, and it just kind of worked out that way, and I don't know, it's not working for me, so I'm trying to find a better spot. I think downward actually works pretty well. I will want to turn the fan on in order to verify this, though. Yes, I think so. And I think I still actually want to bring her sleeve a little bit more forward. So let's make it so we see a little bit more inside of her sleeve here. This is like the final bit of perspective in theory. I say in theory because I change my mind a lot, and I want to sleep on it before I decide that everything is done. But I'm getting there, and I think everything is about right at this point. So hopefully I can start going in and rendering things out. Okay, but I think I like this. I think I can even spin her around just a little bit more. It looks like she's having a good time. I think I'm actually gonna move where her elbow is. That's kind of the joy of foreshortening, is you can do what you want to an extent. Sometimes it's hard to draw, but sometimes it basically just means that you can do what you want. And it'll all end up looking fairly correct. As long as you attach it all properly. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think that arm is coming forward nicely. It's kind of doing what I want. I'll need to do some different shading and stuff there, but that's fine. I already am going to have to change some stuff around that area because I haven't drawn... She has like these little puffy, frilly things coming out of these ribbons. Or rather the ribbons are sitting on top of them. And I haven't drawn them yet. That's fine. I guess I can deal with the hair clipping now. I don't think there's anything to do about that other than just not. Which admittedly does give me limited options in making her hair kind of fly around, which is a little bit sad. Yeah, that shouldn't be there. What should be there is... just kind of a dark area. Yep, kinda like that. Okay, no, I am gonna have to draw it on top in order to make it work. Basically, I was thinking if I could draw it all the way in the back, but this thing is sitting on top of too many other things. So I just need to draw it manually. That is fine. I do wish I could just send some hair all the way out here and just make it have a good time. But it is blocked by both her hat and her shoulder. So I think that's what I can do. It should look a little bit better once I actually start shading it. And unfortunately, I did lose my hair shading color. So you know what? Let's go ahead and bring some of that back. I do not think that it is yet flying around as much as I want. Stop taking me to the circle. I do not wish to go to the circle. I wish to stay on the hair layer. Thank you. Anyway, that is such a weird bug. I wish it would stop happening. Alright, that's a good color. So, let's see, how do I want this hair to fly? I'll probably do a little bit more inner bangs here to make it fly, but let me get some kind of preliminary shadows on there. We'll get some stuff going forward and some other stuff going back, and it should all look pretty good once I'm done. There we go. Just getting some of the basics in there. Now let's make her front hair here a little bit more excited. Let's flip it around. Really let it be free. We'll just really let this be free. Put in some loose strands. Some of these will probably be light later, but whatever. Right now I have my dark color selected, so I'll use it. Okay, I guess that's fine. For now. Her shoulders seem a little bit broad to me. I think it's because the foreshortening from her arm here. I'm gonna take the collar out of her arm group. I can just let it sit there on top. I'm gonna let this kind of come out of her armpit a little bit more. Which works for me because it means I can make her fan a little bit larger if I do that. I like that idea. Yeah, and then there'll be some nice butterflies kind of coming out of there. I guess they'll come out more like around here now. Base or the tip? The tip, I think. Yeah, it should look pretty nice once I actually draw it. I will leave it hidden for now. Go ahead and redraw some of the ghosts here. I did like the one kinda wrapping around her waist. I'll put it behind her hand. So it can kind of sit here and just be wavy. Go around her like this. Let me get a good circle here. And I'll just erase around there when the time comes. Now let's make him a little bit wavier. There we go. Give him a nice big head. Okay. That should be nice. And I don't know, maybe a small one over here. Across her chest. Put some more spin in her. I'll let this one be a little bit smaller. I'm still not sure if her neck is attached to her body correctly. Let me push her collar to where I think it should be. And move her head and neck accordingly. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. And then I want her head to be a little bit further from the edge than it currently is. And I think I want this bottom ghost to actually be facing the other direction. Yes. And let him wiggle this way. Oh, did I accidentally cut off the other one's head? I shouldn't do that. That's rude. I would say yes. Cutting off people's heads does seem quite rude, so I suppose I shouldn't do that. Huh. It's not in the selection, so I wonder why it's... Okay, I'll just cut this to a new layer for now. I'll merge it down once I'm done. Alright, I will rotate him back into place here. And then I think I will adjust his tail this way. Let him spin. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's most of the composition down. Do I want to add some colors? Let's revisit this background color. I still don't like it. I'm gonna hit Control U to open my hue saturation sliders, which unfortunately you guys can't see, but that's what I'm doing. Do I want it to be like pastel pink range? Or do I like it more in the kind of dark blue range that I was looking at before? I like it dark. I do like it dark. I don't know, she just kind of starts fading into it when it gets too light. I'll probably add maybe a little bit of a glow around her or something to make it seem just a little bit less dark. But every time I adjust this, I just come to making it darker. So let's just embrace that. Make it dark. We'll see if I change my mind tomorrow. I very well could. I changed my mind quite a bit, so... Let's see. Yeah, I like it a little bit bluer there. It's still purple, but it's kind of a colder purple. As opposed to the warmer purples that go more towards red. Bring it towards blue. That'll make it nice and cool. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, let's pick some other colors. In particular, I want some more colors inside of her sleeve. I was determined to put some new colors down today, so you know what? Let's do it. This bright blue is nice. I'll take it. I'll put some folds in here, I suppose. Just something kind of like this, and then I can use this color for a little bit of highlight. And I would like another dark blue, but I want this one to be a little bit more muted in color, so I will use kind of a gray purple here on multiply. You can see it's significantly lighter. Where's my multiply? There we are. Significantly lighter than the purple I use for most things. There we go. Now I can start getting some of the kind of stained glass look up in here. Okay, there we go. That color was just a little bit too gray. Okay, and now I can use these colors in various places that I think would benefit from them. I can make a little bit of a darker area right through here. And I would also like to make some lighter areas. I know that I already have a lighter color on the hat. It's just covered up by that white part. Yep, right there. So I will continue to use those colors because I think they are nice. Okay, there we go. Got some more colors on the sleeve. Let's go put some darker colors on the trim surrounding her sleeve. And actually, the trim surrounding her sleeve is thick. So I actually want it to be a little bit thicker on this side because we see the top of her sleeve here. I will try to follow the shading that I already have in there. Okay. That should be fine. Let's go ahead and put in a few shadows here and there. And then I would like a darker color, so I will go to my dark purple. This one probably won't have as much color variance as her clothes. I don't think it needs it. But I would like it to have some. In fact, I think I will keep this lighter of the darker blues that I just made too. So this way I can have some spots that kinda are covered by things, and so they're really, really dark. And then some other spots that are just a little bit darker. So something like that. Okay, let's start spreading these colors around to her clothes and stuff. It's fine if I, change my mind later. And all that good stuff. I can always go back, pick different colors, or if I have to change things about her clothes, redraw a bunch of stuff, that is also fine. Everything is fine. I can do whatever I want. because this is my universe, and I make all the rules here, all of them. You can see here that these are all shadows that I put in at one point, and now I think that they are wrong, so I am moving them around. Because I have changed my mind. And that is totally fine. It is fine to change your mind. Anytime you're drawing something. Change your mind as many times as you want. As many times as it takes in order to get what you want. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Go ahead and draw a little bit more in these areas underneath here. And now that I have a bunch of nice shading that I can use for these white parts, I can make the underskirt look a little bit nicer. There we go. Okay. Now we'll go back to the clothes proper and start getting some of the shading that I just axed back in there and looking nice. And this big flippy part doesn't really make sense in reality, but it looks nice. Unfortunately, it does mean that I have to figure out how the shading is going to work. It's okay, it doesn't have to make sense in reality. I can make it work. Let's see. Maybe something kind of like this. Yeah. There we go. Just gotta find the right shapes, you know? Alright, and now I can put some nicer colors here. Make this flip a little bit more. We're gonna make it nice and flippy. It's nice being able to make things nice and flippy. It's a lot of fun. It makes me happy. Another case of I'm not sure if it makes sense, but does it really have to? Does it? I think it's fine to just do what I want. And I'll spread around a couple of other colors. Just to make it look nice. I think that's part of the appeal of this particular style that I'm trying to develop, is that it just has a lot of nice colors. A lot of them. And I just use them in various places. Wherever my whimsy takes me. Wherever I think they look nice. That's as much sense as they have to make. Okay, that seems nice. I like the way that looks. Let's see, what do I want to do for her chest area? I think I can do something simple. We'll just put a few little spots where the top is kind of being pulled by the belt here. And maybe a few light areas, and some of these places that I just think really catch the light. So maybe like right up here. And through here. I'll put some nice light spots in these areas. Okay, yeah, that seems nice. Still extremely chaotic, of course, and I'll worry about this arm later. I don't think I want to draw it just yet, because I'm still not 100% sure on what will be going on there. Okay. Anything else I want to do yet? I will be adding more detail to her face at some point. But I want to make sure that it actually looks good before I start doing that. And for that, I need I need some time to sleep on it. I do think that the white part of her hat might be a little bit large. I mean, to be fair, it is quite big, but is it that big, right? Okay. I think that's a little bit better. Let's do a little bit on her belt. I can start kind of defining that little ribbon. What does it look like again? Let's go take a look here. Just a fairly simple thing. So we got little center part here. And then we got two ribbons coming out of it, like this. Just like that. Nice and easy. And they're not like tied ribbons or anything. They're just little puffy things. So we'll give him some poof. Give him some poof. Give him some shadows. That's what'll make him happy. And eventually they'll have little frills on the end, but I don't want to put those in just yet. So for the time being, I'm just going to go ahead and give him a light. I don't want it to be quite that strongly purple. Okay, pretty much everything I did there was trying to make it more purple, which is funny to me. Oh, I still have it on overlay. No, you're supposed to be on normal now. I will give him some lights. There we go. And the ribbons on her back, I'ma just make them dark. I guess I'll put a little bit of light on them, but not a lot. And I do actually think that her clothes need a little bit more of this lighter blue color. It's not used enough. Where do I think it should be used here? Maybe like right here. It just needs a little bit more color variety. Maybe use the bright blue instead of the... No, I like the desaturated blue there. So I'll leave that like that. Okay, in that case, maybe what I want is for the back of her dress here to be the bright blue. And I can separate the part that kind of flips up here from the background with some of this more desaturated blue. There we go. I think that separates them well. Now, top half. I'm looking at the top half of her clothes now. I think I'm gonna go hide the ghosts for a bit. Oh, I never merged them back together. Okay. So I want to get some of those dark colors around her armpit here. Do not think that the folds around her armpit will be quite this strong, since her armpit is mostly going to be covered up by her forward sleeve there, so I should actually make this a little bit thinner. There we go. I'll go ahead and just put in just a few folds, kind of making their way out there. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. This side is just going to be more in light. I don't think there's a lot of folds or anything on this. So I'll put in a few colors just to make it a little bit nicer. Okay. So I think that's probably good for now. Kinda got the stylistic things that I want going on her clothes. And yeah, from there, I'll figure it out for her head. Make sure that I still like her head. I think it's looking pretty good. At the end of yesterday, I just really did not like it at all. So, it's nice to see it looking pretty okay now. I look at it and I realize that I have this eye just a touch too high. There we go. I get the feeling I'm gonna have to do that a little bit more next time, which will be Saturday. Yes, tomorrow is gonna be more Ender Lilies. But yeah, now she's holding the fan mostly properly. I mean, I haven't drawn the hand, but that's okay. And I will figure out these last couple of things, and then I can start adding all the details to her clothes and figuring out where the rest of these colors should go. Get to make everything nice and frilly. But alright, I think I like where this is going stylistically. I will be able to make all that look a little bit nicer. It just needs to be rendered mostly. And I can worry about, you know, making all of these things separate from each other a little bit better, and doing some nice things with her hair and stuff, and just all the good stuff. But I think I'm getting there. I think it's looking pretty good. I think it's getting to the point where I actually like looking at it. Maybe not 100% there. There are some things that are still kind of bothering me. Mostly I just feel like the blackness of the fan really stands out, but that's okay. It's okay, getting it to the point where I actually enjoy looking at it is a big deal. Because it's so much easier to work on once I actually like looking at it, so I will take it. But I think this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.